Welcome to today's video. My name is Adrian. Today we have a very packed show. I'll address the puppies at the end of the video. It is National Puppy Day, but we'll talk about that later on. Today the world passed over 350,000 people that are part of this crisis. In the United States, the numbers went up from 32,000 to 35,000 today, and a total of 447 deaths. New York is accelerated at an alarming rate. 100,000 people per capita, 107 people in New York are getting infected compared to Italy's of 98 people per 100,000 citizens. So that's alarming because we've seen the footage of Italy coming out of Italian hospitals and the Italian people just suffering. There's not enough beds. They're saying that doctors are literally deciding who lives and who dies. They're just working nonstop. You already saw those photos that I posted yesterday in yesterday's video about the medical doctors and the scars that just having all the gear on because they're working non-stop day and night to try to solve this crisis. And New York is heading in that direction and even a more faster rate, which is so scary to even think about. Trump actually yesterday, he announced that he's deploying the National Guard.
Today I'm announcing action to help New York, California, and Washington ensure that the National Guard can effectively respond to this crisis. The National Guard, these are tremendous people.
Trump announced yesterday he's deploying the National Guard in New York, California, and Washington. And what this means, it's not martial law. I saw a lot of people getting scared, like, oh, the police are going to beat you up and arrest you. And this is the same National Guard that goes out to help out during natural disasters, when there's hurricanes and stuff. The National Guard's there to help out the people, help out, patrol everything. And speaking of the people, today in some international news, the UK went out in a complete lockdown, the same thing as Germany did earlier this week. Any meetings of 2 people or less unless you're in the same household, because you can't have 2 people or less if you live in the same household. And also alarming, Spain is at the same rate that Italy was 2 weeks ago. So Spain right now is a week behind Italy, and the numbers and the death toll keeps rising in Spain, which is very, very scary. So not only you have Italy, there's a huge problem. Now you also adding Spain, and then New York is adding to a big problem. So right now things are getting more serious. And even after all this, even after the reports of how many people are passing away and the governor of California telling people to be locked down, people in California still went out to the beach over the weekend. And especially if you're going out to a park or a hiking trail, I understand they said it was okay to go out and exercise, to go for a walk, to go to a park. But if it's a crowded park, it's definitely defeating the purpose of going to these places. Like, it's supposed to be isolation, social distancing. And a lot of people in California, they were not scared of the virus and they continue to live their lives going to parks, to beaches, and it just makes no sense. So today they actually announced that they're going to be closing all the parking at all the California beaches so people cannot park at the beach, just to prevent people from going, because people are not getting the message. And if it continues to go, the longer that people are going to be sitting at home. And that's what something that people don't understand. Not only are people's lives on the line, people's jobs, people's just livelihood, everything's on the line right now, because the longer this virus keeps us in on lockdown, the longer that people are staying at home not working, the longer that people are losing their businesses. It's just so much trickle down effects. Just stay home. Stay home is hashtag stay home. Like, it was trending everywhere. There's so much things we need to eliminate the threat and just follow the rules, guys. Come on, it's not that hard, bro. Like, it's a couple weeks, 3-4 weeks. If you guys actually stay home, we could get through this. After yesterday's backlash, and also Canadian national team announcing that they were pulling all their athletes from the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, today the International Olympic Committee decided that Tokyo 2020 has been postponed. They haven't said if it's going to take place in 2021, but the Olympics are officially canceled. The Olympics are canceled. Like, this is a huge deal. Like, the Olympics, every 4 years, some of the world's greatest athletes get together. They train their entire lives to come to this event. People and fans from all over the world watch them and go to the Olympics and just explore the cities like Tokyo, where the event was going to be hosted. And now there's no word if it's going to be postponed to the fall or postponed till 2021. I think it's better if they just postpone to 2021 because it makes more sense. Yesterday I mentioned in my video that it sucks for those athletes that barely made it, like they're getting older or they barely made the cuts to compete in the Olympics, and next year they might not be able to make it. But I think this opens the opportunity for a lot more people who barely missed their opportunity to go to the Olympics. You have another year to train. Maybe there's more tournaments where you could qualify for the Olympic, and I think that's cool. So it's a motivation for people. Let's turn this into a positive. So Olympics postponed to 2021. Let me know your thoughts. It hasn't been officially confirmed, but the Olympics are for sure canceled. So yeah, just let me know your thoughts on all of this. In other sports news, Travis Frederick from the Dallas Cowboys. In other sports news, Travis Frederick from the Dallas Cowboys has just retired at the age of 29. He was one of the best centers in the league, probably the best center or up there with Steelers Pouncey. He was one of the best centers, and now the Cowboys, another loss for them. And it continues the trend of NFL players continuing to retire at a young age. Is no longer an athlete or a superstar is going to play till they're in their late 30s. A lot of athletes are deciding to end their careers in their late 20s after they make some money. They're trying to look at after their health because the sport of football is very dangerous, and I think that's going to continue to happen. Like, it's not going to be the reverse. Of course, you have the outliers like Drew Brees and Tom Brady, but most people, I feel like, are going to take this route, play maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years, get your bag, go home and retire, get your family straight. What do you guys think about Travis Frederick retiring from the NFL? That's pretty interesting. Today it was reported by CNN that somebody tested positive at a California prison. This marks the first one in LA County, the first one in California. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens, because you've seen some prisons all over the world. They have released prisoners because a lot of people are getting infected and they just don't want to deal with that stuff. So somebody tested positive. Does that mean other inmates are getting tested? It's going to be interesting to watch. Also, Harvey Weinstein yesterday, I mentioned in yesterday's video, he got tested at a New York prison. So are they going to let the prisoners out, and it's going to turn into the Dark Knight Rises where the prisoners take over the town? Today, Trump and his team held another press conference, and today Trump, basically, I'll take one of the things I took from this was he said that the mortality rate right now, it's around 1.3%. He's saying that when we first heard the reports of 3% or 5% or sometimes 8%, that's super scary because that's such a huge percentage, but 1.3 is more manageable. And although he said even 1.3 is hard because people's lives are on the line, and we can't take that for granted, but he did mention that we have about 1.3% in the United States right now, and a lot of people are not even reporting because people are just getting regular flus and the symptoms go away. So the percentage could be a lot smaller than 1.3%, but he's saying right now the consensus is around 1.3%. What do you guys think about that? Does that make you a little more calm, or should we still be super worried? I feel like we still should be worried because 1.3% is still a lot. As long as it's not 8%, I think we're on the right direction. And with all the National Guard and everything moving, I feel like we're making strides to prevent this entire thing. So let me know what your thoughts are. Dr. Fauci says Americans will likely need to stay home for at least several more weeks. He said, "I cannot see that all of a sudden next week or 2 weeks from now it's going to be over. I don't think there's a chance of that." So Dr. Fauci is that dude that's been kind of like all over social media and all over the media. He's the guy that's an actual scientist that stands behind Trump and just shaking his head and nodding his head because Trump is saying some ridiculous stuff. So he says that there's no way this is going to be over in the next 2 weeks, and it's definitely going to be dragged all the way into the summer. And I personally believe that too. I feel like people are saying by April we're gonna be fine. I think we're not gonna be fine probably till like June, unless like some kind of miracle happens and everything just gets ramped up. So just stay home. Let's hope that this ends sooner than later, and let's all play our part because we're all involved in this. And I know it's gonna be tough. Like tough times are tough, and right now is one of the toughest times. I can't remember a time, like we said, like when in history like sports are canceled, anything's canceled. You can't go to the mall, you can't go to the movie theater, we're all just locked up at home. Some people can't even go to work, you can't go to school. Like I've never experienced anything like this in my life. Besides when I was a sophomore in high school, they actually had to close down the high school because somebody had started the swine flu. So we were out of school for like 2 weeks, but it was only like 2 weeks, and it was only the high school. It wasn't like the whole country or the whole world shut down. But that was like my only experience with it. Again, I didn't experience anything else that happened decades ago, but this is just an unprecedented time, and times are going to continue to be tough. But let's just take a breather. Let's take the positive of whatever we can. And today's National Puppy Day, so I want you guys to go and look up the hashtag National Puppy Day. Go look up pictures of puppies. If you have puppies, share your photos, and if you don't, just be delighted about all those pictures. Here are some photos of my 2 puppies. One of them's no longer a puppy, but here are the photos of my little dogs, Suki and Rivers. Shout out to the homie Rivers and my girl Suki. And last night, Westworld Season 3 Episode 2 debuted. I don't want to get into spoilers, but it was one of the very interesting episodes. Like, we got to dive deep into more character development, and every time we watch a new episode of Westworld, more questions get raised. It's just such a crazy show. Like, you guys have to watch Westworld. I cannot strongly recommend it more. I'm gonna continue to talk about Westworld. And they had a Game of Thrones cameo, which was I thought it was pretty cool. Have you guys seen Westworld? What do you guys think of the latest episode? Thank you guys for watching this video. My name's Angel. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. I'll see you tomorrow.